While I don't appreciate what George Bush did to America and to the Middle East, as a kid, when he was my president, I loved him. I mean, I remember my family loved him too. We thought he was very funny. We thought he was very charismatic. I understand now as an adult that had bad ramifications for the whole world. But I don't know. I'll still always have this weird soft spot in my heart for George Bush. I'm Tall the Traveling Clad, your favorite white colonizer. Let's take a look at this clip from George Bush.
While we're in this beautiful place, our hearts are in Israel. We saw clips of you rallying the nation after the worst terrorist strike on American soil. I wonder what were your thoughts when you heard that Israel was attacked by Hamas over the weekend?
My thoughts were that we need to support Israel. No ands, ifs, or buts. This was an unprovoked attack by terrorist people willing to kill innocent people to achieve an objective. Hamas is a political organization. They do not reflect the majority of the Palestinians. And don't be surprised if Israel takes whatever action is necessary to defend herself. And it's going to be ugly for a while. But it's tough. It's tough. And I hope and pretty confident the United States will stand squarely with Israel. You know, going in the neighborhoods of Gaza is going to be tough. And, you know, he's got a very seasoned military, but they just called up 300,000 reservists. Most of them probably can't fire a rifle. And to the extent they'd be put in harm's way, it's going to be awfully difficult on the prime minister. But he's got to do what he's got to do. I mean, you're dealing with cold-blooded killers. And you can make all kinds of excuses why they are, but they are. And his job is to protect this country. And anyway, we'll find out what he's made out of.
Among the countries on the axis of evil that you defined during your presidency was Iran. To what extent is Iran responsible for the...
I don't know. I don't get the intelligence anymore. Their stated objective is the destruction of Israel. That's what the leaders say. And in this world, you got to take what they say seriously. And Iran's been pretty good at using surrogate terrorist groups, Hezbollah being the key one, of course. And therefore, the idea of using somebody else to achieve their objective doesn't surprise me. Again, I'm kind of a hardliner on all this stuff, but I never thought we should try to accommodate Iran any way, shape, or form. I always felt the objective ought to be to prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon, to prevent a cataclysmic event in the Middle East. And these are the kind of people that if you show softness, they will take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. And we'll see. The United States needs to stand squarely with the president, with Netanyahu. And the administration started off on the right foot, it seems to me. Pretty bold statement, and that's good. And he's going to take some heat. You know, both parties have got isolationist tendencies, and you know, we shouldn't get involved. You know, who cares? Well, we should. We should care.
What does the immediate future look like for Israel in your view?
Immediate future doesn't look very bright, particularly if you're on the Hamas side. But it's going to be chaotic, and it's going to be, look, it's a democracy, and in a democracy, the people's voices matter, and there's going to be a weariness. You watch, the world's going to be, okay, let's negotiate. You know, Israel's got to negotiate. They're not going to negotiate. These people have played their cards. They want to kill as many Israelis as they can, and negotiating with killers is not an option for the elected government of Israel. And so we're just going to have to remain steadfast. But it's not going to take long for people. That's gone on too long. Surely there's a way to settle this through negotiations. Both sides are guilty. My view is one side is guilty, and it's not Israel.
Well, goddamn, who would have thought? Who would have thought George W. fucking Bush would have had his ducks in order, of all people, in the American political sphere? And I'm assuming that clip was recorded way back, probably around the time of October 7th. This made me think a couple things. Well, before we get into it, I just want to say, let me know in the comments below right now. Did you like George Bush? Do you like George Bush? Don't be worried about leaving a couple comments if you want to comment again later. But let me know in the comments right now. Are you a fan of George Bush? Did you like George Bush? Do you believe in the things he did? I'm curious because I was a kid. I didn't understand politics at the time of George Bush, but in my family we loved him. I remember we really loved him. And I would even say to a certain extent I kind of maybe even idolized him. because I was a president that I was proud of. Like I liked this guy. As I got older, I realized maybe he wasn't the best, but I still would love to meet him and shake his hand one day. Like that would be an incredible thing. I hope I get a chance to do that. I don't know. I mean, I'd like George. I don't even know how to explain it, but again, it's coming from a childhood place, not like an educated place. Now, from the perspective of what he said, I wonder if George Bush was president during the time Biden was president when October 7th happened, would Israel's reaction be different? Would there be a Gaza today? Would he have gotten involved, considering there were American hostages for a very long time, for over a year, until Trump got them out? Would George Bush have intervened? George Bush was way more finger on the trigger than Trump has ever been. Would George Bush have actually gotten American troops involved in Gaza? Is that a reality that could have happened if George Bush was president during the time of October 7th? What would have support looked like for Israel at that time? Would it have been with zero, also imagine if this would have happened in the 2000s, like early 2000s when Bush was president. It's a very interesting idea. Like how would all of this played out differently if Bush was president and if this would have happened back then? That's just like the first thing that sort of came to my mind when he was talking. Second thing is I wanted to point out something he was wrong about. He says Hamas is not the ideology of the Palestinian people. That's fundamentally not true. It definitely is and unfortunately so, the same ideology that Hamas has is the majority ideology of the Palestinian people. They believe in resistance. They believe in muqawama. They like Hamas. It's overwhelmingly popular in all of the Palestinian territories, in every single place where Palestinians reside. Hamas's ideology is the ideology of the people. So let's not infantilize them. I'm really sick and tired of always infantilizing Palestinians and trying to find a reason. They are pro-genocide. They like genocide of Jewish people. They're happy with it. It's part of their culture. We shouldn't infantilize them. We should try to figure out a better way around it, but we shouldn't make excuses for their shitty behavior. Does that make sense? Now, a third thing that I was wondering, to me is amazing how George Bush was able to predict in this clip exactly what happened. There's going to be a point in time where everybody's saying it's horrible, it's horrible, it's horrible, horrible. They're going to support Israel, and then, like a flip of a switch, everyone's going to say, all right, it's time to negotiate. All right, it's time to talk. All right, let's put the weapons down. There's both people at fault. It's amazing how he was able to predict that. Every single Jew, mind you, every single Israeli knew this. We were prepared for. I remember on October 7th saying it. We're going to go crazy and we're going to get condemned immediately because we actually can't respond. Hamas did October 7th knowing that any response from us would be condemned. Any response. Even no response would have been condemned. Israel was destined to lose this war, at least in a media standpoint, forever. There was never a scenario where we didn't lose. So it's very interesting to me that George Bush kind of knew this. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. I love you a long time. Goodbye, clats. If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to support me, being PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining my Patreon community down below. Patreon is the best way to support my channel, and you'll get a bunch of cool perks depending on what tier you join. Another great way to support me is by buying my merchandise on thetravelingclat.com. I regularly drop new merch designs like this beautiful hat, or this amazing shirt, where you can support the channel and get something cool for yourself. I also have an amazing Discord community with people from all over the world. Thank you so much for your support.